Okay, next we're going to teach you how to use simplex method to solve the LP problems. Let's use window glass corporation product mix problem. Okay, X1 is the number of new door produced per week. X2 is number of new window produced per week. And we try to maximize weekly profit. Each new door produced, profit is $300. Each new window produced, the profit is $500. And we try to maximize our weekly profit, okay? Now, there are three constraints, plane 1, plane 2, plane 3. Plane 1 deal with what? Hardware. And plane 2 deal with what? Wood material. And plane 3 deal with what? Assembly, okay? So in the production, we have 4 hours available to deal with new product 1 and 2 in plane 1. 12 hours available from plane 2. 18 hours available from what? Plane 3. Okay? X1 is what? New door. New door is aluminum frame, so need to go through plane 1. And X2 is what? Wooden frame window. Window is what? Wooden. So don't need to go through plane 1, okay? But X2 need to go through plane 2 because plane 2 deal with wood material. Plane 2 has 12 hours available. For each new window produced, require 2 hours of work in plane 2. And plane 3 is what? Assembly. So both new door and new window need to go through plane 3, okay? 3x1, each new door produced requires 3 hours work in plane 3. Each new window produced requires 2 hours work in what? Plane 3. And total hour available is 18 hours, okay? X1, X2, these are what? Non-negativity constraint. We have them greater equal to 0, okay? And then let's look at step 1. We need to convert all inequality into what? Equalities. We know x1 less equal to 4. So 4 is bigger than x1. The difference is 4 minus x1, of course, greater equal to 0. We call this as S1. S1 is select variable 1. Okay? So the select variable 1 is what? Bigger than 0. Okay? So this one I can convert from inequality to equality. That is x1 plus s1 is equal to 4. Okay? It's x1 plus s1 equal to 4. x1 plus s1 equal to 4. x1 plus s1 equal to 4. Okay? Now, second constraint is what? Second constraint is 2x2 less equal to 12. So again, this is 12. This is 2x2. The difference is called S2. That is 12 minus 2x2. Let it be what? Be S2. This is greater equal to 0. So this convert to 2x2 plus S2 equal to 12. Okay? And then the third one. 3x1 plus 2x2. That's equal to 18. Similarly, by introduce x select 3, we have 3x1 plus 2x2 plus what? Plus S3 equal to 18. Okay? So we convert from inequalities to equalities by introducing the select variable S1, S2, S3. Okay? Any question? Okay, now I'm gonna make a change. Okay, profit equal to 300 x1 plus 500 x2. These two numbers are too big, so we're gonna change to what? We're gonna change to p equal to 3x1 plus 5x2. In here is what? 我没有在录，
哦，他看不到下面。
看不到。好，我把一上来。我开始录。
哦，太大了。
Okay, look at here. The profit is what? It's dollars. 1 unit of new window produced, a new door produced, profit is $300. 1 new window produced, profit is $500. These two numbers are too big. So we change to 3 and 5. So in that case, P is what? P is profit per $100. Okay? This P stands for profit per $100. Okay? We convert to that. And this one, I also make a change. I rewrite this as P minus 3x1 minus 5x2. And that is equal to 0. Okay? So I also not just convert the constraints, I also convert the objective function. Okay? Okay?
哦，是为什么最后你要把它的根本换成等式？因为它
Profit 也换成等式是吧？
就它对啊，但是它本来不就是等式？
没有，我换一个方向，它还是等式。
我知道，就是一样的，
对，
就变成
我待会会把这个东西叫 right hand side，就跟那个
解方程。
解方程一样
哦，
把它的 right hand side，我也一致性，好不好？所以我现在也有直接把它写下来。
后面会讲这个 RHS。
会讲到，
我打过来
我先写完。
啊。
好，请讲，你有什么问题？
我是不是我如果说我想就是等学完了，我想再练一遍这个SIMPLEX2，我是不是可以就是用第一题去用同样的方法去做？
对，看你做得出来做不出来，你要做出一样的答案就是对的，
啊，
懂吗？
嗯，
这为什么我不讲同样的？因为原因就是你有多一点可能性可以做练习。
那我当时就自己再把，比如像
对
A
对
和 B 我都用这个方法去，
对对对对，
然后
我跟你讲哦，这个方法做起来很慢，但是它可以，它的好处是什么？你用 graphical method，你只能用两个决定变量 x one x two，
嗯，
但是它只要很多 x one x two x 三的话，你只能用 simplex method 做。
要不然你要花好多好多钱，
是是，
然后你每个
而且你也
点都要，
看不是，而且你也看不懂，因为3度空间不好看，只有2度空间可以看。好，我得开始讲，好不好
然后
？Okay, look at here. The job we're going to do next is we're going to convert from algebraic form into tabular form. Okay, this is algebraic form we just had. P minus 3x1 minus 5x2 equal to 0. This is what I call right-hand side. And everything from here to here is what? It's called the left-hand side. Okay? So P minus 3x1 minus 5x2 equal to 0. And then x1 plus s1 equal to 4. 2x2 plus s2 equal to 12. 3x1 plus 2x2 plus s3 equal to 18. This is what we call algebraic form. And we're going to convert into what? Tabular form. Okay? And it's actually quite easy. For example, p, the coefficient is 1. So the objective function convert to what? Convert to row 0 in the tabular form. 1, and this is minus 3x1. This is minus 5x2. You don't see S1, S2, S3. Why you don't see S1, S2, S3? Because their coefficient is 0. That's why you don't see it. And the right-hand side is 0. We complete the row 0. Second one, we complete the row 1. You don't see P because it's 0. X1 is 1. You don't see X2 because its coefficient is 0. S1, this is 1. You don't see S2, S3. And the right-hand side is 4. Okay? So you just repeat this process and then complete what? The tabular form. Same thing, row 2, this is 0. Okay, this is 0. And then you don't see x1, so this is 0. x2, the coefficient is 2. And this is 0. This is 1. This is 0. And this is what? This is 12. Let's look at row 3. This is 0. This is 3. This is 2. 0, 0, 1. And this is 18. And then it's done. Okay? It's done. This is the initial table. This is what we call initial table. Any questions so far?
嗯，
哦，不是很难，但是需要有老师带啊。
对，
他跟你讲下面怎么做啊？
嗯，
我先用中文讲一次，然后录的时候是英文。我现在是怎样？我现在是要提升我的最大 weekly profit 啊，所以选 X1 好还是选 X2 好？为什么？因为每提升一个单位，它又增加500块啊，所以但是在这个表格就是你要选到什么 most negative 在 low zero，因为你在提升它的 X2 的值的时候，它提的最快，听到没有？
嗯，哎，对，那它，负三和负，
因为我移过去了，
哦，
我刚才就移过去了，对吧？
我有为什么？
啊，然后移过去了以后，就是因为我还不要 profit，我这 P 就是 每100块的
嗯
profit，所以可以写成3公，对吧？
嗯
然后再来是什么？再来就是x1 小于等于4啊，就是 x 加我是等号对吧？x1 等于，所以想想看啊，我现在最快提升 profit 的方法是我增加一个单位的 x2，对吧？
对，
每增加一个单位多500块，对吧？但是这个有个限制，因为它都是 non-negative constraint，对吧？
嗯
我只要x2升到最多升到多少？升到6乘以2是12，对吧？
对
6乘以2是12，小于18。
嗯
但这个2x2等于18，我最多可以升到多少？升到9，对吧？92是18嘛，对吧？但是我只要这边用9的话，2乘以9就怎样？就超过就不行了，懂不懂？所以只能用小的那一个。这个在这个方法 SIMPLEX2 叫做 minimal ratio test，懂了没有？我现在讲这一段用英文讲。好，
谢谢老师。
我知道你在赶，所以给你很多方便啊。以后不要这样，你就自己每周要来。OK，so this is the objective function p minus 3x1 minus 5x2 equal to 0. 0 is right hand side, and then x1 less equal to 4, convert to x1 plus s1 equal to 4. 2x2 less equal to 12, convert to 2x2 plus s2 equal to 12. And then the third constraint, 3x1 plus 2x2 less equal to 18, convert to 3x1 plus 2x2 plus s3 equal to 18. And I can build up the initial table, P, x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, right hand side. And look at the row 0. It comes from objective function. P coefficient is 1, 3x1, so this is what? Minus 3x1, so this is minus 3. This is minus 5, and all the other are 0, right hand side is 0. And the rest 3 follow the same way, okay? Now, look at here. We're going to talk something about minimal ratio. Minimal ratio test. What it says is, look at here. I begin with what? I begin with maximum P plus 3x1 plus 5x2. If I increase 1 unit of x2, I can increase the profit in the fastest way. Okay? So I'm going to look at what? Look at x2. So in the table, I'm looking what? I'm looking at this column. Why I look at this column? Because this is the most negative. Okay, this is most negative. 我得找个红笔哈，写起来会比较清楚。
那如果说它有好多个这个，
那你随便挑一个，要好多是一样的话，可以随便挑一个。那个到时候你挑哪一个就不重要。
就是它那个条件的话，当时这样好多，那
比方这2个都是5的话，你挑哪一个都没有关系，
就挑最那个
挑系数最大，
系数啊。
因为你赚的最快。
我的意思是，你能找到，肯定知道哪个系数最大嘛。但是假如说它下面的条件，像那个2x2小于等于12，后面又有 2x，后面又有 2x2，大家好多个条件里面都有 2x2，你怎么知道它最后那个？
你就乘那个 minimal ratio，只要有 time，你找任何一个都可以，就没有关系的。他只要打平手的话就没有关系。Okay, let's look at here. We look at x2, the variable x2, the decision variable x2. Why you choose x2? Because 1 unit increase in x2, you have what? 5 units increase in P. Okay? So you can increase P, the profit, in the fastest rate. So in the initial table, you're going to look at what? You can look at this column, x2 column. Why you look at x column? Because this one is most negative. Okay? Most negative. That means you can increase the profit in the fastest way. And then we're going to find something called pivot. And how we determine the pivot? Pivot is determined by minimal ratio test. Look at here. If I increase my x2 from constraint 1, it doesn't matter. No matter how I increase x2, because the coefficient is 0, this constraint will never be violated. But look at the second one. I can at most increase from 0 to 6. 6 times 2 is still 12. But increase to 7, this constraint is violated. Okay? So 12 divided by 2 is 6. Look at the next one. 2x2 compared to 18. When I increase to 9, 2 times 9 is 18. That's still fine. If I increase to 10, 2 times 10 will exceed what? 18. So this is called minimal ratio test. This is 9. So which one you going to choose? You choose 6 or 9? You choose what? The minimal ratio. 6 and 9. You choose 6. Because if you choose 6, this 6 times 2 still less equal to 12. 6 times 2 still less equal to 18. But if you choose 9, 9 times 2 is 18. But 9 times 2 here, 18. This constraint is violated. Is that okay? So you want to choose a smaller one. So from the one you create smallest ratio, you're going back. And you find this number is what we call a pivot, okay? So in this case, pivot is what? Is 2, okay? And what we're going to deal with pivot? How are we going to deal with pivot? Okay? We deal with a pivot. You need to know how we solve what? How we solve LP problem, okay? How we solve the LP problem. Let me use another page so you understand what. How can we deal with this kind of situation? Okay? 我跟你讲一下这个东西。Pivot 就是导航系数，中文叫准心，以它为准啊。开始录了哈。Next one, in order to make you understand better about those operation, low operation are going to do to what? To this table. We better begin with a very simple, easy case, which you already learned from high school. Say you want to solve the linear system. x1 plus x2 equal to 4. And x1 minus x2 equal to 1. How are you going to solve it? Well, your teacher will ask you to what? Times minus 1. Huh? To the first equation. Times minus 1 to the first equation. And then add it to what? Second equation. And then replace the second equation. Okay? That is to say, I still keep what? I still keep equation 1 the same. x1 plus x2 equal to 4. But in order to solve the system, I times minus 1 to what? To 1. And then add it to 2. So this is still my equation 1. But I times minus 1 to what? To 1. And then add equation 2. And the whole thing replace what? Replace equation 2. That is to say, look at here. This times minus 1. This times minus 1 is minus x1. Times minus 1 minus x2. Times minus 1 minus x4. And then I add what? I add with x1 minus x2 equal to what? Equal to 1. So minus x1 plus x1 is 0. Minus x2 is minus 2x2. Minus 4 plus 1 is what? Minus 3. Okay? And I'm going to use this one to replace 2. This is going to replace what? Replace 2. So the new table look like this. This is still 1, 1, 4. Okay, this is still 1, 1, 4. Okay. Times minus 1 to 1. Times minus 1 to 1 and add up to here is 0. Times minus 1 to 1 is minus 1. Add up to here is minus 2. Times minus 1 to 4 is minus 4. Add up to here is minus 3. So we have minus 2x2 equal to minus 3, which is this one. Minus 2x2 equal to minus 3. So this is going to replace what? The second equation. Okay? How are we going to deal with this next one? In high school, your teacher say, now you have a system what? x1 plus x2 equal to 4. Okay? And this one is minus 2x2 equal to minus 3. In order to find what is what? In order to find what's x2, all you need to do is divide it by what? All you need to do is divide it by minus 2 on both sides. So what are you going to get? You're going to get x2 is equal to what? Is equal to positive 1.5. Or you say 3 over 2. Okay? And we're going to repeat this solution procedure in here. Okay? In here. So this one is still 114. 114. And this one, I'm going to divide it by minus 2. 0 divided minus 2 is still 0. Minus 2 divided by minus 2 is what? Is 1. Minus 3 divided by minus 2. This is 3 over 2, or you say 1.5. Okay? So, we know x2 is 1.5 now. Okay? We know x2 is 1.5 now.你好像有问题，什么问题？
哦，我是从那个，这个是说解二元一次方，
对，最基础的。
但是为什么我是直接拿一减二呢？就是我直接拿那个，
没有，它很多方法可以解啊，这只是其中一种方法。
哦，
对吧？
那如果我这样写的话，那
你一定要这样做，
啊
因为是电脑上程式就这样做，所以你一定得这样做。
哦，所以说我
有很多种方法，这是其中的方法，你非得这样做，因为电脑程式是这样，电脑程式是这么弄。
所以我的一元二次方程的解法必须要按照负一乘以一加二等于。
不，你一定要，你的目的就是你要造成一个1001的态势出来，那叫你的 basic variable。为什么要造成这个形式？做完你就知道，
啊，
懂吗？
嗯，
因为你现在看嘛，你这个是不是已经看出来这是10，对不对？但这不是01，对吧？
对，
你要变成1001这个形态。我下一步再做你就懂，我讲会怎么懂。
就是我听有个问题，
嗯，
就是因为我这边如果直接讲，这边是2，这边是3，
可以啊，
那我这是4个。
那这就很麻烦了，这个不好，你要写成这个形式，要1。
哦，
好不好？
好，那我
待会，因为你一就是说你不需要再乘除了，你直接看答案就知道 x2是1.5。你这个是不是是不是2x2等于3，对不对？那你是什么东西 x2 的时候还是不知道，因为你是2x2，我这边直接写 x2 是1.5，是吧？懂我意思吗？
OK，哦，哦，等一下，我想的是这样，对，x 这样的，x 这个然后这个1减这个倍3倍x2，那它的x2等于3。
对了，这可以。
但
我说我这样写有一个原因，我就是要变成1001，你那样写没有错，但是我一定要这样写，它有原因的。原因我做完你就知道。
然后还有个就是它是怎么变成那个101？不是，就怎么变成？因为我下面的我刚才有点没听懂，
哪一个问题？
就是就是就是到这里我都懂，然后到这一部分我也
这个东西一样的嘛，是吧？
就这边重复抄一遍。
但这边变了，是吧？
对。
哪里变了？我是不是都除以负2？
就把
对，我除了负2以后，是不是 x2 就是1.5就出来了嘛？就知道什么是 x2 了。
懂。
你休息一下，等我再你的讲都白讲。对啊，你喘一口气。
好的。那是不是我后面，假如说我做其他题的时候，我为了要造成这种下面一个，我一定要用这个式？
不是，它有很多种号。
就是
你等我做完以后，我再给你个3文。不要你看到最后我做完你就懂因为现在我没办法整个讲你一定要做完一次，然后复盘，就是复盘以后才会懂我要聊什么，知道吧？
好的。没有。
当你好，我就继续。可以了吗？
我可以。
好。
抱歉了，时间耽误您使用。
Okay. Now, next one, our direction is 1, 0 and 0, 1. But this is not 0 yet. So how can we make this become 0? So in other words, if I rewrite it, this is x1 plus x2 equal to 4. And this is what? This is x2 equal to 1.5. Okay? How can we solve the linear system? It's very simple. All we need to do is times -1 add up to here and replace this one. Times -1 add up to here and replace equation 1. So how can I do that? Look at here. I times -1, I know x2 is what? 1.5. If I times -1 and add up to the previous one, it's x1, but minus x2 plus x2 becomes 0. Minus 1.5 add up to here is what? 4 minus 1.5, which give you what? 2.5. Therefore, I find x1 is 2.5, x2 is 1.5. Okay? So in the table, it look like this. Please concentrate and look at the table. Okay? This is 0, this is 1, this is 1.5. How I make this work? I times -1 add up to here. Minus 1 times 1 is minus 1. Add up to here, this is 1 becomes 0. Same thing. Times minus 1 to 0 is what? Is 0. And is 0 add up to here, stay unchanged. So this times minus 1 to 1.5 add up to 4 is what? 4 minus 1.5, which is 2.5. Now you have the form like this. 1, 0, 0, 1. If you stop at the form 1, 0, 0, 1, you can find x2 is what? You can find x1 is what? X1 is 2.5. What's x2? X2 is 1.5. So you have to stay like this. 1, 0, and 0, 1. That's the reason why you want to stay with this one. Okay? You want to stay as this one. X1 is 2.5. If you use 1, 0, 0, 1, that means you can actually read the answer from the table directly. That's why you keep it in this form. Okay?这样可以吗？这就是原因为什么要变成1001的道理。因为你弄成这个样子 ，x1 就是2.5，x2 就是1.5，就不用再做，你直接从表格就可以把答案念出来，可以吧？这有没有问题？OK。So, um, okay. After that, we are ready to work on this one. Okay. 我们用的方法就刚才那个方法完全一样，只是这个比较复杂一点而已，知道意思吗？
动物的那个我打的那个问号，
哪一个？
没有找
好，这样吗？
这样看，
好，谢谢。
但是他们应该看不到吧？
也不需要看到，因为它不是永远挡，只有挡一时而已。
啊，
Okay, let's proceed. Okay. After you realize the procedure here, we begin with 1, 0, and then convert it to 0, 1. If you can keep this form, you can read the answer directly. Okay? So we're going to apply the same procedure here. This procedure I'm going to do next is exactly same as what? As this one. But this is more complicated. That's it, the difference. Okay? But if you are patient, you can do it, no problem. Okay? So we find this is 2. How are we going to deal with the 2? This is the p-word. P-word need to be converted to 1. P-word need to convert to 1. And the reason is what I told you. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. You can read directly. Okay? So you want to convert p-word as 1. If this is p-word, anything above is 0. Anything below is 0. So that's the form we are looking for. So let's apply to what? To this entry. This is p-word. So we want to convert p-word to what? Convert p-word to 1. Okay? So this one going to convert to 1. But how can I convert 2 to 1? Because I divided by 2, everybody. Okay? So this one going to be 0, 0, 2 divided by 2 is 1. This is 0. How about this one? This will become 1/2. 0 divided by 2, this is 0. 12 divided by 2 is what? Is 6. Okay? And what happened next? I want to make sure anything above and below becomes 0. Okay? I want to make sure everything above and below becomes 0. 你能不能不抄，完了再抄，好不好？你把它听懂。
哦，我就是边听边做。
不要不要，你先听懂。我现在时间比较短一点，就告一个段，你把它听懂，好不好？
因为你只要不持续听哈，我回头要整个讲一大段，你就听懂，每一步听懂。因为我完了以后我会停，你就开始抄，好不好？
啊，
So this is a pivot. Pivot become one. Anything above, below becomes zero, like this one. So how can I, this one is zero already, so I don't need to do anything. I just copy zero. This is one. This is zero. This is zero. This is four. And this is one. This is zero. Because this is zero already, so I don't need to do anything. But how can I make this become zero? I need to times what? 5. 5 times 1 is 5. Add up to here is 0. Are you with me? I times 5 to 0 is what? 0. Add up to minus 3 is minus 3. I times 5 to 0 is 0. Add up to here is 1. I times 5 to 0, add up to here is 0. I times 5 to 1 half, add up to here is 5 and half. Huh? I times minus 5. Now I times 5 and add up to here. Times 5 to 0 is 0. Add up to here is 0. I times 5 to 6 is 30. 30 add up to here is 30. Okay? Now, and this one I need to become 0 as well. I can times minus 2 and add up to here. But easier way is times minus 1 to this one and add up to here. This will be 0. Okay? So times minus 1 is 0. Add up to here is 3. Times minus 1, add up to here is 0. Okay? So times minus 1 add up to here is what? 0. Times minus 1 add up to here is 0. Times minus 1 times minus 1 to 1 is minus 1. Add up to here is what? Minus 1. Are you with me? Times minus 1 add up to here is what? Is 1. Times minus 1 to 12 is minus 12. Add up to here is what? 6. 有没有问题？因为你只要不听的话，你一定听不懂。你要全心听，懂不懂？才会听懂。你全心听才听懂的话，你现在我看你又不懂，看你脸色又不懂，你哪不懂？
就首先看，就是像这个，就它的这个，
它是 pivot 对吧
变成
？pivot 要变成一嘛，对不对？
它变成
它怎么变成？你现在我问的回答，它怎么变成一的？
它除
除以什么？
除以二，
那能不能只除它？所有人都要除以2，对不对？
对对对，
是吧？你刚才做那个就知道，所有人要除以2，所以0除以2是0，0除以2是0，这是0，这是2分之一嘛，是吧？这个变6，这个问题。
这个好的，
好，然后再来，它的上面跟下面都必须是0，对不对？那你现在看哦，它是1，对不对？它原来就是0，所以不需要做什么事，照抄下来就好，对吧？然后再来是它怎么变成0？是5乘以1变成5，加它进去变成0，对不对？1乘以5是不是5？加到这上面是变成0，是吧？那你就做同样的手续吧。0乘以5加上是不是还是-3？0乘以5加到1是不是还是1？0乘以5加到0是不是0？1/2乘以5是5/2，加上是5/2，这不是0嘛，是吧？0乘以5加到0是不是还是0？5乘以6是什么？30，加上来是不是30？一样的，就跟刚才那个逻辑一样。
然后最下面那个
下来我反正这是两个线性方程式嘛，对吧？我用这个做，跟用这个做没有差别。这个东西只是我除了2以后，但我用这个做就比较麻烦，因为我乘以-2才能加过来。这边我直接用负的加起来就可以了。你想，
我们在两个这我看看，
哪一个？
就是这行，它是怎么那个，就是
是
它怎么这个是怎么
变成零的，是吧？
它怎么变成零的？它是乘以我上下
你有两个办法，
啊
一个是用，我问你这两个方程是不是同一个方程式？
是
是吧？
啊，
我现在要把这个消成零哈，是不是乘以-1加盖就变成零啊？
嗯
是不是这个乘以-1加过来就是二嘛？-1乘以二就-2加二就是零，对吧？
啊
另外一个我用这个方程式，这个这是2倍的这个，我只要用这个做的话，是不是这个要乘以-2再加上才会变成零，对吧？哪一个方便？当然用这个，
这个乘以
乘以-1加上就是零，乘以-1是零，加起来是3，乘以-1是零，加起来是零。乘以-1加起来是零，乘以-1，-1乘以1是-1，加上来就是-1，
啊
乘以-1零加起来是1，乘以-1-12加起来是6。你可以用这一行做，也可以用这一行做，它是同一个方程式。
这个1/2乘以-1加下来不是
你搞错了，因为我是直接这个跟这个做，不是这个跟这个做，
哦，
懂我意思吗？
那这个就是一乘以-1再加上
加在这是零，
啊，就是
-1乘以1是-1，加起来零是-1，
哦
-1乘以零是零，加起来是零。
哦哦，就是
这两个方程式是同一个方程式，
嗯
但这个要除以2才会变成它。
哦这样
在你消减的时候，你可以选择用这个来消这个，还是用这个来消这个，哪个比较用这个比较简单，
我明白了，
是吧？
用
这堂课你等于是你把上半学期4个星期的课赶在这一周上了，
嗯对啊
就是刚开始没有花很多时间，就是这样。
是，让我抄一下吧，
抄你抄，
我
你懂了就可以抄，对，
或者我
不要抄一些你不懂的，让浪费大家时间。
或者我自己写，时间不够我先抄吧，我就
没有关系，没有关系，我搞懂，我已经教到现在就不差那点时间了。
好，那我能不能自己就不看那个上面，我把它写出来？
你还有一个东西没有学到，所以你还是把它抄下来听我讲。
好。 我能继续吗？嗯。
Okay, close to the end. Okay, close to the end. Resume. Now we already finished from this iteration to this iteration, and we still need to run because they are still negative number, which is this one. That means by increasing x1, I can maximize my profit in the fastest speed, just like this is -5. Okay, so you still have a minus number here. That means increase x1, you can get what? Profit increased. Okay, so again, we're going to do the minima ratio test. So I'm going to look at this column. Okay, and perform minima ratio test. This is 4. This is 1. Okay, so 4 divided by 1 is 4. This is 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Which one is smaller? Well, 2 is smaller. So you're going to go back. You're going to find this guy is a pivot. Okay? And do you still remember how you deal with pivot? Do you still remember how you deal with pivot? Pivot need to be what? Pivot need to be converted to 1. So this one converted to 1 divided by 3. So this is 1. This is 0. This is 0. This is 0. Divided by 3 minus 1 over 3. Divided by 3, 1 over 3. Divided by 3, this is 2. Okay? And this one already 0, so nothing you need to do. Just copy it. Okay? Now, how can I convert this one to 0? You can use 1 times 3 add up to here, but that's a lot of work. The easiest way is times 1 add up to here is 0. Times 1 add up to here is what? 1. Times 1 add up to here is 0. Times 1 add up to here is 0. Times 1 to minus 1 is minus 1. Plus 5 over 3 is 3 over 2. Okay? And times 1 add up to here is 0. Times 1 add up to here is 1. Times 1 add up to here is 36. So only have this column left. How can I make this become 0? Easiest way is times minus 1 add up to here is 0. Times minus 1 add up to here is what? 0. Okay? Times minus 1 add up to here is 0. Times minus 1 add up here is 1. Times minus 1 to minus 1 over 3 to 1 over 3 add up to 0 is what? 1 over 3. Okay? Times minus 1 is minus 1 over 3. Add up to here is minus 1 over 3. Okay? See? Times minus 1 add up to here is 0. So times minus 1 to 2 is minus 2. Add up to 4 is 2. And look at here. You find from here to here, they are all greater or equal to 0. That means what? Optimality is reached. There is nothing you can optimize. If you still see negative in low 0, that means this is a unit you can increase the profit. But when they are all greater or equal to 0, there's nothing you can increase. That's N. So how are you going to find the optimal decision? I'm going to write down for you. The first equation is what? P. Profit per what? Per $100. This is 3 over 2 S2 plus S3 equal to 36. Okay? And the second one is what? S1 plus 1 over 3 S2 plus minus 1 over 3 S3 equal to 2. How about this one? This is X2 This is x2, okay? x2 plus what? 1 over 2s2. And equal to what? Equal to 6. Okay? And the last one, this is x1. Minus 1 over 3 s2 plus 1 over 3 s3 equal to what? Equal to 2. Are you with me? And in solving the system, the easiest way is you set what? You set s2, s3 equal to 0. If you set s2, s3 equal to 0, you know s1 is 2, x2 is 6, x1 is 2. You get the answer, okay? So if you set s2 equal to s3 equal to 0, you have s1 going to be 2, x2 going to be 6, and x1 going to be 2, with optimal profit equal to 36. Equal to 36. But we know this is per what? Per $100. So that's profit equal to $3,600. So you're going to produce what? 6. This is new window. And 2 what? 2 new door. If this is your weekly production plan, then optimal profit weekly, $3,600. This is the same answer as what you get from what? Graphical method, okay? 有没有问题？这就是 Simplex method。
再把它做一个，直到它那个 profit 没有负数。
没有负数，就是这个里面有负数。你不看 right hand side 哦，就是看这个前部的系数，就是 x1。不看这个，这是 profit， 看这个是这个永远是正的，因为它是 profit， 你看，是0.003 over 2，它都是什么？都是正的，你没办法 optimize， 你只要移回去，它都是负的，懂吗？你提高一个 x1、x2 的值，它只要是负的，钱就下去了。
那为什么把 S2 和 S3 变成那个？因为它们不会影响。
不是，因为这是什么？这是010100001嘛。
我的意思是到那个下面这个式子里。
对你这个事情不是设成0，是不是这些会务没有以后，你就直接看答案？跟以前是一样的，是吧？跟那个简单的 x1、x2 一样的，你就设它这两个是等于0。好，然后 x1 就是2，x2 就是6，两个什么？2个 door， 6个 window， 这答案是跟以前是一样的。好，这就是这个你可以做完，你再做一个，你就可以拿到那5分的。
然后最后这个 S1 是指那个，
那跟我们以前一样，都一样啊，就 window glass 那例子 ，x1 是 number of new door produced per week，x2 是 number of new window produced per week。你是实在都没有花什么时间。我跟你讲，这个 case 我第2周就有了，就 Window Glass Corporation。
我这个意思是这个 S1 不是 difference， 是那个 S1 到4之间那个。
那是 S， 那 S 是 select， 它的空档，在这边没有解释的。
这个我就
你不用担心 S， 你就担心 X1 跟 X2 就可以。对吧？
因为我看见 S1 等于。
因为这个东西真正原因是有原因，它叫 duality 对偶。这个东西到研究所再学。你假如是数学major的话，你可能大3、大5都学到了。但是你假如是研究生的话，电脑研究生还是 science 研究生，只要不是数学研究生，你在研究所里面就会学到，这叫对偶 duality，DUALITY，那是比较 advanced 的课程。
所以我现在不用管它，
不用管它，你只要知道最后的决定是 x1 是多少 new door。x2 多少？那最后的 profit 是最好的，3600块，这就够了。
我这个我现在那个微信的那个会议，他给我给这个。
我有给这个题目。
对，然后我当时做了，对不对？
哦，你做出来了，
嗯，
哦，那就好。
到
你是用 Excel 做的，
嗯，
对，你用个 Excel 做也可以，但是这个我要叫你用 SIMPLEX 做，你可以做才有加分。5分啊，不少啊，你学懂今天就没有白来了。
我都懂了，就是本来让它变成里面变成0和1，就它系数变成1了，就可以一下子就知道它是什么了。
所以你以前问题都没有了吧？你只要跟着我，最后听懂了，以前的问题都没有。
嗯，那哦，拍个照了。
拍个照，该做的该做，心没这么晚，该做的。
啊，反正也是我自己过的。
对了吧？
嗯，啊，
对了吧？
可以了。
好，我走了，我走了。好好考啊，你不要不要花半天没什么结果。
哦，不会不会，我会努力的。我就算期中不好，后面我都会。
你要多来，你就多来，就不会这么麻烦。因为是为了考试把自己急坏了一爆。
我不是因为考试，我之前我不知，也
你
怪我
不知道这个问题的严重
怪我
性啊！
也是怪我对我后
你
面
本来这个课本来就没到习惯要一直加，一直要读的，对吧？你只要都是读，到后来又觉得有一点压力，但是不会到没办法承受。你还来问了，你只要不问下去你就听不懂，懂吗？完全听不懂。
因为之前我没有上过这种就是完全不上课的网课。
这是 core course，这是核心科目，所以一定有一定的要求。
他为什么这么难的课他可以搞人线上运动？我还以为
没有，他就看看可行性啊，就看可行性。线上很多课是很容易，是吧？
我感觉为什么会有很多人挂这个？
是，我也是有。
因为有几个人，他们是我约赛时候，他们也上这个课，然后当时
不是，你
丁好，
武顶好的，
然后
他其实还好哎，
他
他只要是自己做就还。
他没他
我说他问你，
他是问我的，
那很有麻
他
烦。
当时就是他很多题，包括这个 LP 方面最开始的，他都
你该叫他来听课。
我跟他讲了，但他说他没看，所以他不敢来。
你说我都知道，就知道来好。那再不来就来不及了，我跟你讲。
我觉得周四他来应该也来不及，不要
你会不会？这大概已经病入膏肓了。
他好像我们
另外一个还可以嘛，就是那个朋友嘛，
投资一种，
那还可以。
他之前学过一个东西，
他学过的，那可能还好。固定号也学过，但是他没有学这个。固定号他的那个 normal probability 跟 probability 更强，他修过一。你是唯一没有修过一，正在一计算，你是没有修过的。他们在那一部分已经过了。
我就数学好一点，我就稍微在计算方面
所以你心里要有打算。你劝固定好，他也来。
好。
反正我本来叫他来的，他后来做一周就没来，你说就不来，不来我就不找，不来就不来。
那老师，我们下节课讲这周的。
没有，我们没有下节课，下节课就是你有什么问题继续问啊。我已经跟你讲，你前3题都会做，对不对？那就15分了。对吧？你有没有看这一周？你这一周还有 assignment problem 哦？
对，我看到了，然后我还给您发了，我做那个
已经解出来的。
没有，还没有。
它有一道题需要用那个 Excel spreadsheet，把它解出来，就像你的 quiz 3有2道题要送，sample Excel 有2道题要送，在 quiz 4有一道题是 assignment problem，你要解出来，把 Excel spreadsheet 送给我，不然你是用1分，你要做完就拿4分。
好，那个对啊，那个 proposal 我应该要看一下那个。
哦，对，你已经给我送 proposal 对吧？你 proposal 就是 cafeteria 问题的。
对，我想做那个。
你就好，
因为我看那个比较稍微好像比那个2个就很难，我感觉。
那没有关系，每个人觉得难度不一样。
对，他们的不一样。
我尽可能就把大家一人一个，我很多嘛，对吧？一人做一个。
那我做2个。
好，人家在上，我就抱歉。王先生是万先生的，万先生已经做了，你要再往别的选啊。
因为我一开始我立刻就发邮件。
是。我那个题目有些挑战性，那个有挑战性，其实那每一道题的挑战性都不太一样。
对。
反正难度是差不多的。
然后我那个这周的quiz，我开始了，但还没做。
你要看很多才能做。
对，因为我看了一下，还在卡在那个最后的3题，因为越做完。
这个东西有大量的，我知道。 就看或者应付，还是要抄别人答案，考试就会死掉。对，不听好，假如对你们答案，他会死掉。
因为考试的时候
没办法问，啊，不是真的问，
那他们的 all exam 是就是同时进行吗？还是
就只有一个，因为他出不了本书，他出在外，
是什么？
是叫讲号，那个我的外国人，他住在那个，他住在爱尔斯，他也不想因为太远，
所以说只要错了，他对的题你就会问他
他就问他，所以你们就是对就是对，错就错就错了，很简单，因为你们坐在面前的，没有什么帮助的可能性。
那我们在自己电脑可以做 Excel 的。
你跟所有人讲，包括布丁好，包括朋友，你都必须把自己的电脑带来。然后你在考的时候我一直走，你们除了你们用的电脑以外，你不是否上 AI 啊什么其他的工具啊？
不知道了。那我们就那 Excel 这个有的问题要用 Excel 做，那我是到时候发邮件，考完试发邮件还是？
对，你就考完试就有发邮件
好，
好不好？所以就是基本上，我为什么会有这个题？因为考试要考。
好，我还在想 Excel。
我不经常会做 Excel，我看他 Excel 错的答案是对的，他是抄你的吗？
他问了我一些问题，他比如问我这个颜色怎么选，然后
我跟你讲，那没有关系，别不要紧。我还希望他全部都问，他就不会落掉，好吧？
主要是我没上过。
一点一点你要自己小心，因为他们不盯好，他们一定都上过了。然后那个什么，那个外国人，作业会说的外国人，他 Excel 实战很强，他都受过类似的课程，所以我不担心他。我担心那个人是因为他没有受过统计力的原因。我中类不是，
我真没说。
对，你们在考像考 normal distribution 考保护，你会吃亏。
对，
其他3个人都很强。
就那个彭飞跟我说他学过的，他都会。而且
你是唯一没有学过的。
我是，
对，我还是好像就是你。哦，没有，还有，哦，没有，就是你一个，你有修过保罗波利跟那个，就是 normal distribution 啊，那保罗波利有没有学过？这你是要补习。
那个东西我在
高中学过。
没有离散。
哦，对对，简单的学过是。
对，我们学了简单的那个
几率
算概率，然后还有那个中文叫什么？我在那个 YouTube 上看过，大概是什么东西？那个 normal distribution。
哦，normal distribution 对。
就是它大概就是说，你只要数量达到那个。
对，它就是常态分配啊，是这样。我跟你讲，你哦，你自己要小心啊。你当觉得别人都 fall behind，